It's fashion show time. If you're new here and you're not subscribed to my channel yet, you're really missing out on some serious laughs because my entire life is one big joke. So hit that subscribe button right now, and also leave me a like to appreciate my efforts at being entertaining. Now I am going to quickly talk about my outfit. So I don't know where this is from because I've taken off the label and I've had it for like 5 million years. These are from a brand called the label, because I imported them from Australia. I paid an absolutely disgusting amount in import duties, but it was 100% worth it because they are very comfy if you don't feel like wearing skinny jeans. Despite the fact that I wear them casually all the time, if you wear them with a pair of heels, they can easily be made fancy for a night out or whatever, something like that. Guys, I don't know why I'm trying to be a fashion blog all of a sudden. I need to stay in my own lane. So basically the plan for today is that I'm going to be cooking a bunch of food and I'm going to be talking to you guys at the same time. So it's sort of like one of those chit chat get ready with me videos, but a vegan who's obsessed with food version. I have to admit that the thought of doing a proper sit down video is very nerve-wracking to me. Because then I can't, especially if I'm talking about something serious, I can't really use my bad humor and editing to cover up my awkwardness. So, and because I am going to have to sit down and film my first sit down video in a couple of days, I feel like this is a good way of easing myself into it. This is really tragic. I really want to eat a pickle, but for the love of God, I can't open this jar and I don't know what to do. Someone help. Anyway. So the first thing that I'm going to be making today is one of my Nourish butter bowls. If you follow me on Instagram on my Food Earth of Maria account, you probably know that those bowls are kind of the thing that characterizes my account. And I do get quite a few people requesting me to make a video showing you how I put them together. So that's what I'm going to be doing now.
You have to stand outside of the window and have a conversation whilst I'm trying to film.
Another thing that's making me quite dismayed at the moment is the fact that it's only around 9 o'clock in the morning and I am so ready to have lunch. I suppose that sort of makes sense because I did last eat around 5 hours ago, and that's not me trying to flex about the fact that I wake up exceptionally early. Knowing me, I probably will end up eating this bowl at like 11, or at least having a substantial morning snack. But the first thing I'm going to do is prepare some rice. I usually use around half a cup. Shush! I'm just going to fill my saucepan up with water. I have to say that this is like a nice new way to keep myself entertained whilst preparing my food. Usually what I do when I'm cooking is I either have a YouTube video playing in the background, or I go on Spotify and I find new music to listen to when I'm at the gym, because basically I don't want to take the risk of listening to a new song whilst I'm there and then not finding it motivating and taking myself out of the zone. So I suppose that's my fitness motivation tip of the day for all of you. Next thing I'm going to do is prepare some turmeric chickpeas. Step 1, you've got to pop open your can of chickpeas. I mean, if you use to pop champagne, you can pop chickpeas instead. Oh, it's very dark. I'm going to drain the son of a bitch. So as you can see, no, you can't see. So I've got the rice cooking over here, but we will have to just swap just so you can see what I'm doing. So I have this olive oil spray which I use at times to facilitate the cooking process, and the frying pan that I use is from a brand called Circulon. They are exceptional at making non-stick stuff. This is not sponsored or affiliated at all, but it's just a general recommendation. So We're gonna transfer the chickpeas into there. Oh, sizzle, sizzle. Give them a bit of a stir. I also quite like to sing while I'm cooking. Singing is one of those things that I could just never be good at because I'm practically tone deaf, but don't let a lack of skill stop you from doing something that you enjoy. So first of all, because they're turmeric chickpeas, we need to go in with the turmeric. I'm sorry, I have a special skill of sounding like a patronizing asshole by accident. Next, some garlic salt, a couple of cracks of black pepper, crack, and finally a splash of tamari. And then literally all you have to do is stir them around for a couple of minutes just to heat them up, and yeah, that's how I make my turmeric chickpeas. Stirring the pot as I always do. I just had to literally run to the corner shop to get an avocado, #JustVeganThings, and yeah, I was walking back, and because they didn't bring a bag, I was just, you know, carrying this avocado, and now we are happily engaged. As you can see, wedding's coming up soon, everyone's invited. In a minute, I will take a 40-minute walk to the local health food store in order to get some ingredients for the next thing that I'm going to be making, because the local Asda doesn't have everything that I need. And also, I need to stock up on my favorite Greek-style soy yogurt because I literally can't go a single day without it, with a thick drizzle of peanut butter or tahini, thick as in THICC, of course. So what I'm doing now is I'm just chopping up some of these cherry tomatoes. 1 second, I might as well. You know what, I'm genuinely really upset about these pickles. I spent my hard-earned money on this jar and now I can't even open it, and disappointment is real. And also because today is one of my rest days from the gym, that walk is going to be sort of my activity from the day. A fact about me is that I cannot be inactive. I've always been a very active person, and despite the fact that I really don't enjoy kind of doing steady state cardio at the gym, so for example using the stationary bike or using the elliptical, shush! Now I'm going to be preparing some of these mini cucumbers. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. I don't really do any sort of formal steady state cardio where, you know, you go to the gym with the intention of going on a stationary bike or whatever. I instead stay generally active throughout the day. I don't take public transport very often. Speaking of public transport, I very recently discovered that buses actually accept contactless payments, which means I won't frantically have to try and find a cash machine every time that I need to get the bus. But anyway, particular on my rest days, I find that taking a walk is a really good way to just get in a tiny bit of movement, get your blood pumping and all of that. So also I'm going to make some tamari mushrooms to add to the bowl, so I'll show you how to do that over by the oven in a second. Also, the workouts that I do at the gym are usually very intense. I don't very often do your typical bodybuilding style of workout where, you know, you do 3 sets of 8 reps of each exercise and then rest. I don't know, I just don't really enjoy that style of workout very much. I have done it in the past, and I find that I do get quite bored, and boredom is one of the main enemies of motivation. So instead I like to do loads of supersets, loads of jumping around, kind of building in new and interesting exercises every time I go to the gym. I've got the mushrooms going in there, and first of all I'm just going to add a hint of garlic paste.
Just stir that around.
Splash of tamari. And now it's time to assemble. This is the bowl that I always use. It's like stained from turmeric, but if you want to start your own food Instagram account, then I would recommend getting a nice wooden bowl to get things started and get your millions of followers. Yeah, we're going to start with a bed of fresh greens. So I've just got this pea short salad, neat and delicate like me. By the way, if I wasn't trying to make it look pretty and if I wasn't talking to a camera at the same time, this sort of meal would only take around 20 minutes to prepare, or even less if you're using a different carb that takes quicker to cook than a portion of rice. So we're gonna get a big ass spoon and add some rice. I am so quirky and hilarious. No. Next up, we are adding some chickpeas. A couple of tomatoes here. Oh, that's a very nice avocado. Now for the mushrooms. So here is the finished masterpiece. I also added some sesame seeds to the rice and a drizzle of tahini. If you're going to recreate something like this, you can use whatever sauce that you would like. Honestly, personally, I don't need very much sauce. I have very sensitive taste buds, so I mean, you can literally hand me a bowl of plain tomatoes and plain cucumber and I would enjoy it. I would still be substantially hungry afterwards, but in terms of taste, there would be nothing to prevent me from enjoying it. Okay, so I have just been on my walk. I thankfully acquired my soy yogurt and all the other ingredients that I need, and now I am about to get back to work once again. So for this next dish, which I think I'm going to have for my dinner, I'm going to be making stuffed sweet potatoes. These sweet potatoes are in the oven already. I think I'm going to give them around 45 minutes, and in the meantime, I'm going to prepare my tomatoey jackfruit filling. Buckle your seatbelts, everyone, because things are about to get deep. So the main thing that I wanted to discuss in this video is friendship and loneliness and that sort of thing, because I've had a few people notice, particularly on my Instagram stories, that I am by myself quite a bit, and yeah, that's something that I wanted to address today. By the way, what I'm doing over here is I have some jackfruit pieces and I'm just putting them apart and taking out the seeds using my hand and a fork. It seems like this is a very taboo topic that, to my knowledge, not many people have attempted to destigmatize, and that's really understandable, despite the fact that the concept of popularity becomes very irrelevant and quite immature after you get beyond, you know, year 10, year 11. I thought there was a spider on my back. Oh my god, what the hell? Nobody really wants to come forward and admit that they don't really have many friends, or that they feel lonely, or that they feel sad that, you know, they don't get as much social interaction as they would perhaps like. And that's quite surprising, because just from talking to other people, whether that's on the internet or in real life, it seems like quite a few people, especially around university age, struggle with this problem. And I think that's because when you're in school, you're kind of forced into a classroom setting where you have to interact with people and you see the same people on a daily basis. But at university, you have to be a bit more proactive about making friends, which is something I'll discuss more in a second, and my personal experience. To summarize, at the moment, I am not afraid to admit that I don't really have many friends. I have a few people that I would consider to be my best friends and that I've known for a very long time, but our friendship is of the sort where our lives are so different and we're all really busy doing our own things, and we may not see each other, you know, for several months in a row or even a year, but when we do meet up, it's like that distance was never there in the first place. I feel like that's the best kind of friendship, but beyond that, I don't really have a very big circle, and I never really have at any point in my life, and that's something that I've been coming to terms with quite a lot, especially in the last few months. I'm not going to lie, it does kind of get to me sometimes, knowing that I'm not one of those people that, you know, constantly has their phone blowing up with messages and notifications and that gets invited to everything, and that always, you know, has someone there that they can talk to just immediately because they have so many people to choose from. And then again, that kind of gets me thinking, do I feel upset by that fact because it genuinely makes me upset, or because it's kind of conditioned into us that we need to have all of these friends and we always need to be busy with social commitments, and even that there may be something shameful about spending a lot of time by yourself, even if you happen to enjoy your own company. I mean, can you really get better company than this face over here? I think not. That was a joke. I'm not really that big-headed, not quite. I've just finished preparing the jackfruit. It kind of looks like this. It has a bit of a pulled pork texture. Ooh. Now I'm just going to prepare some garlic and onion. I'm so disorganized. So I've been this way for literally as long as I remember, but sort of my sense of loneliness and isolation was definitely at its worst during the last few years of secondary school, and that's for several reasons. First of all, I was struggling with quite a, and this is not my attempt to throw a pity party. Oh, sorry about that, my camera just ran out of memory. But anyway, as I was saying, when I was approaching the end of secondary school, first of all, my mental health was really bad. I had a rather severe eating disorder which took up my entire life. I was going in and out of hospital. I was away from school quite a lot. I purposely isolated myself because obviously social interaction often involves food and not going to the gym, which at that point was a very big issue for me. At the same time, I was going through a period where I was so overly concerned with what I thought other people expected of me and what I thought other people wanted me to be and what I should be, and I was trying to build this identity to the point where I completely lost touch with who I actually am. And I never really knew that in the first place. Okay, this is getting really deep. I never really knew that in the first place, and I still don't. But the difference is that now I am so much more chilled out that I don't really like think about that sort of thing, because I feel like self-discovery is kind of like food, in the sense that the less you overthink it, the more things start to fall into place. So anyway, I finished school, I recovered from my eating disorder, I started sixth form, and when I was in sixth form I had one very good friend, which honestly at that point in my life was all I really needed. Then before starting university, I had a gap year where basically I had barely any social interaction at all throughout the entire year, and once I started university I had completely forgotten how to interact with people my own age. So I had to take it to the oven so I can start preparing this sweet potato filling. But yeah, and hopefully you can still see what I'm doing and hear what I'm saying by the time that I started university in October 2018. And this time last year I was completely unrecognizable. What the fuck is going on? I think I spilled some water on this oven. As I was saying, by that point I had completely retreated back to that mental state of wanting people to like me so badly and trying really hard to seem funny and attractive and likable and really intelligent, that the fact that I was trying so hard became profoundly obvious to every single person that met me, and the end result was that I always became this robotic non-entity. Why do I make everything sound so dramatic? Socially speaking, uni didn't get off to the best start. And because I was so not used to being around a large amount of people that I didn't know, long story short, I just completely ended up isolating myself. I didn't go to any of the events during Freshers Week that are put on by the university to allow people to get to know each other. So that was a very big mistake on my part. By the way, I'm just going in with some cumin and some onion granules. Fast forward to around Christmas, I still hadn't really made any close friends. Obviously I had like a couple of people that I spoke to, but whilst everybody had kind of coalesced into groups, I didn't manage to achieve the same thing. And I've just added the jackfruit, by the way, but I think that was quite self-explanatory. And then throughout most of Hillary term, which is our second term, so from around January until the end of March, my mental health was the worst that it's ever been in a really long time. So I was really quite miserable on an everyday basis. I just used my academic work to kind of withdraw from the real world in a sense and suppress how I was feeling. I barely spoke to anyone, I barely left my room, I barely left the library. My confidence was at rock bottom. The thing is, once I make a decision to go cold turkey and tackle a particular issue as quickly as possible, I'm capable of doing that. So yeah, I managed to really work on myself and kind of get back to being as normal as possible during the Easter vacation. And during Trinity term, which is our last term of the year, I made a very conscious effort to do all the things that I should have been doing from the beginning. So for example, actually asking people to hang out and asking people to join them for particular social outings or whatever, regardless of how anxiety provoking that was to me at the time. But the more I did it, the less anxiety provoking it became. Now I'm going to add some of these tinned tomatoes, tin chopped tomatoes. I don't know how much I'm going to add yet. I think I'm going to start with around 3/4. Oh my god, that is very noisy. Around 3/4 of a can, and if it seems like too little, yeah, I think this definitely needs a full can. Theoretically, this could very possibly be 2 portions, but knowing me, I will end up eating all of it by myself. Don't we just all love a relatable queen with a big appetite? But yeah, as I was saying, the extent to which I've changed since the start of this year, since the start of 2019 to now, is literally so much more than I could have expected, and I don't even know how to describe the change exactly, but I think the main one is the fact that I've literally just stopped giving a shit, and I've stopped trying so hard, and I've stopped trying to please other people and overthinking what other people are expecting of me. I realized that the best thing for me to do is to just kind of live life on my own terms and do what I want to do and do what makes me happy, and then allow that to attract the right people into my life. Oh my gosh guys, it's so hot in here. I literally just had to go stand in the fridge to cool down. Now I'm gonna add some smoked, no, not smoked, just ordinary paprika.
Next, a generous amount of nutritional yeast,
some black pepper, and a splash of tamari. Right now I don't by any means, by any stretch of the imagination, have loads of friends, and my goal for when I come back in October is to continue what I was doing before, which is really putting myself out there as much as possible, trying to meet new people and trying to, you know, make closer connections with people that I already know. Adding a drizzle of tahini for a bit of richness and a bit of flavor. Tahini is so perfect, it literally goes with every recipe. I'm the type of person where I don't need to be around other people 24/7 in order to feel happy and in order to feel content. And if you're the same way, I feel like the thing to take away from I don't know, this wannabe TED talk that I have just delivered is if you feel fine in your own company, and if you like spending time by yourself, and you know, you're working on your own projects and just I don't know, whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. Not something to feel embarrassed about. It really isn't that deep, and it's just a personality trait. So I feel like the goal for me personally right now is to find kind of the right balance between socializing and spending time with people while still having that alone time that I really need for my own personal development and for my own sanity. I don't know, I'm sorry if none of that made any sense, but I don't know, it's just something that I really needed to get off my chest. Okay, now I'm just serving up the potatoes. I've got 3 sort of small medium-sized potatoes in this bowl, and I'm just going to add the delicious jackfruit filling. Another thing that I wanted to say is that I've stopped trying to label myself an introvert or an extrovert, because at the end of the day, I am literally just me. I don't fit neatly and consistently into either one of those categories, because it literally all just depends on my mood. Some days I am pretty content with just sitting in my room by myself and not talking to anyone, but okay, I really need to learn how to charge my camera, because it just died on me for the 5th time today. But anyway, what I was saying is that I do really enjoy socializing. I do really enjoy talking to people when I'm in a mood to do so, and you know, my mood changes all the time, so the less I overthink these things, the happier I become. Yeah, anyway, thanks for coming to my TED talk. Now I'm going to show you what I did in my absence as far as food is concerned. Here I stuffed the potatoes with the jackfruit filling, obviously. Then I added a dollop of avocado and of course some more tahini. Are you even surprised by this stage? Yeah, so I'm very excited to eat this. Hi, it's the next day. So that was a very random video, but I don't know, I just kind of felt like making it and helping you guys get to know me a bit better. I don't know why anyone would ever want to do that, but yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I shall see you very soon. And if you're still watching at this point and you haven't subscribed yet, then I mean, what are you doing?